Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Her Story. And it's an interesting little game, as we have discovered, but I think there is more to discover here. Yeah, we are at kind of a database of interview footage with this woman, Hannah Smith, who is the prime suspect in the murder of her husband, Simon Smith. But there's a lot more to it than just that. I got a number of comments on the first part of the series, and I appreciate that. That's always good to see. People are interested. I like it. So I'm going to go through these comments and kind of just talk about my thoughts on them. Let me just say first, as kind of a blanket statement to remind you, we have no corroboration. We have no character witnesses. We have no documentation. We have nothing at all to go on except of this one person's words. And based on what we have seen, I would say she leans towards being an unreliable narrator. So it's hard to believe anything that she says, so it's very tricky. If we had any diaries or, any letters or anything like that, anything that could prove anything, it would be great. But we don't, so it's tricky. Okay, so, Ren says that he thought multiple personalities himself. However, there are some things that do make you wonder if there are actually two separate people. The bruise on Hannah's face and Eve's tattoo specifically. And he says that the bruise, which she... let me see if I can find a specific clip for the bruise. Hold on.
The difference is, she's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
No, that wasn't what I was thinking of. Never mind. But there's a bunch of clips here for bruise.
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
I didn't know we had this. Wow, that's helpful. Okay, that's really helpful. Anyways. So... there she touched the right side of her face. I don't remember which clip she has the actual bruise in. I don't remember. It's hard for me to see. Nobody translated this Morse code, by the way. I didn't look into it enough. Let me just do some other search. I need to see other days.
Yes. There's an answer.
She doesn't seem to have a bruise here. Unless, maybe that doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What day does she have the bruise on?
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been...
I don't know. You guys are more eagle-eyed than I am, I guess. I don't know. Eve's tattoo. Yes. I recall seeing a tattoo. I don't remember what... Is this the only...
My mother called me Eve.
Shit. I need to find... I thought, like, that day was the only day where they talked to Eve, unless I'm mistaken. I need some other search terms to find some more clips. Okay, we can get into new territory, I guess. What did she talk about here?
No.
No, he's talking about Simon not having any tattoos.
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings. So I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist.
Okay.
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
Okay. I think they both mentioned that their names are palindromes. That's interesting. But that more supports a split personality than anything. Okay, so... Okay, let me watch this one, because I think she points out a tattoo.
Oh, my tattoo? I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake.
Oh, okay. I feel like this disproves Ren's theory. Since that was Hannah talking, right? And, Eve Eve saying that the guy guessed her name from her tattoo of an apple and a snake. That would be Eve. Hannah getting to express her individuality. So, okay. I feel like that doesn't help Ren's theory. It could still be different people. We have nothing to disprove that it's two separate people, except, I don't know, I feel like that would be really lazy police work. Like, I feel like her DNA has been stamped the shit out of her, whatever, as being a prime suspect in a murder case. But again, maybe we're just supposed to learn that it's two separate people, because they don't tell us anything else. It could be something like The Prestige or something like that, where they just go to elaborate lengths to appear to be the same person, or, to appear to be different people. I don't know, whatever. That's difficult to prove either one way or another. Californication says that there appears to be certain marks that appear and disappear on her. Yeah, I mean, I guess makeup is a thing that's involved, I'm sure. Because it could be that, I don't know, when when her personality is Eve, she could use makeup in different... it's too difficult to prove anything. It's tricky. I can't say one way or another on that. Dark Jin says, I believe Eve mentioned she was born as Hannah's twin, but was strangled by Hannah's umbilical cord to death. Or so everyone thought as she came back in Hannah. Eve learns this by reading Florence's diary. This could be the event you're looking for, but only if it was before their 5th birthday. Also, I think the face that is shown at times when you finish watching videos are hints indicating which clips hold important information. Yeah, that's possible. I don't know what that is. If we just sit here for a while, I don't think it'll show up. So it could be only happen on certain clips. But okay. She was strangled by Hannah's umbilical cord to death. I don't know if Eve would ever have actually said something like that, because that would be kind of denying her own existence. I probably spelt that wrong. Hold on.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
Okay. So then, to piece that together, she did have an umbilical cord around her neck, but she didn't die from it. But why would Florence lie about that? I guess, wasn't there something about Florence wanting her own kid, but she couldn't have... Maybe I'm just making that up. I thought there was something about that. See, this is the problem with coming back to this game after a few days. I believe something about Florence wanting to have her own kid. Florence is an interesting character.
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion.
Okay, yes.
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in a mirror. She was me.
Okay. It sounds, I mean, honestly, it sounds something like in like a grim fairy tale or some shit like that, you know, where this girl is kind of just trapped in her home and denied her existence and was just looking out at her twin out there. You know, it sounds just so fantastical. So, okay, Florence is definitely a key figure. And that's not... Have we looked up diary? I feel like we have. Yeah, we've got everything for diary, so that's no-go. We have some other names to kind of bring it back more into the present time. I think we have Carl. Do we look up Carl? Yes, okay. Doug. Doug was a name. Bunch of Dougs.
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them.
Okay.
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
Okay, but who are they?
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly in the living room. Nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. Eleanor?
It sounded very rehearsed, didn't it?
Yeah. 1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
Okay. Damn. Who are the bodies? Eric is the last name that I had on my list. Okay, this is all new shit. There's 14 and Eric is an important character, I guess, in this plot.
He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
Okay.
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. He had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock. That's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come and see you. His parents haven't heard anything either. Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked on the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
Okay.
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash. But Eric convinced him to get one. Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
Aha! Another name. Aha!
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
I think I see the bruise there that you guys are talking about on our left side. So that is, what, June 25th?
Diane.
And then you said that this is when, like, the next day? Oh, it's 2 days later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's on his watch.
maybe.
It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, you must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
What the hell were you doing in Glasgow?
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off CFAX, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
Why is that an achievement?
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. They get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
See, Diane is... Well, these are the only clips that mention Diane, so it's hard to really say if she's important, but Eric seems more important. But narrowing that down is tricky. What was the other... Oh, palindrome. That was something that linked them. That's where they both mention it. What was the other phrase? Her story was actually used in one clip. There's a new one.
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
Wait, whoa, what? Okay, that sounds important. Shit. Mirrors, very important into this whole story.
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. Haven't looked at it since.
Dude, mirrors are big. But we need to refine it more than that. Okay, whose throat? What?
In his throat. How? Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room. His throat had been cut. blood. Yeah, he was dead.
Okay, now we're getting... Yes. Yes, I agree. Important. Maybe I should save that as well. Although I can only do 5? Oh, no. I don't know. Anyways. Okay. So... Then our best plausible scenario... I don't know. I just don't see how Eve fits into everything. But then that leads me to believe she doesn't exist. So then what happened is Simon bought her a mirror. She hates freaking mirrors. She went crazy and slashed her throat, but that seems too simple, doesn't it? Seems like there's got to be more than that. What else can I search for? He worked with glass, which interests me.
I did. Well, we met when we were 17, both working at the glaziers.
Okay. What did she say?
Diana's really nice.
No,
Party that.
Okay.
No. Everyone loved Simon. He's a glazier. He doesn't have much money. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Everything's so out of order. Okay, boss, perhaps?
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on a peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom. He wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
See, that sounded almost identical to when she told it the first time. Like, really, really damn close. Let me just check something. Okay, there's a new clip. That interests me, but there's this... Where does she talk about that?
My hoover, my dust.
No, not that. Not that. I'm looking for a clip.
Okay. I parked up in the street.
Yep, this one. Yeah, she says most of the same stuff. Yeah, she says she called Doug and Eleanor here. She called Simon's parents in the other clip. I guess we're to assume that means Doug and Eleanor are his parents, which I guess, okay, makes sense.
This is the third day running you've called me in. I speak to Doug and Eleanor every day. And they say you've been asking a lot of questions. About me. Should I be worried? Am I a suspect?
Yes. Yes, you are. Okay. Good.
When you suspect someone of murdering their husband.
Damn, we never get to hear the interviewer.
Okay. So you want to eliminate me as a suspect? That should eliminate eliminate me as a suspect if I was in Glasgow. Can't be in two places at once.
Okay, Glasgow. We forgot to search that. I spelled it wrong. I actually have no idea. I might have to... There we go.
I got in the car and I drove. And just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep. Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from a payphone, and then headed back. No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning. When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. We've spoken with the hospital.
Okay, so she was pregnant when he was killed? Is that what I'm getting? You just search hospital.
Ask the hospital.
That's all she says. Okay. I want to ask the hospital. I can't ask the hospital. I just have to listen to you talk.
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married. Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness.
Okay. I'm just trying to establish a timeline. If she's only been pregnant once, she's not like showing at all. I feel like that because she can't have, that's impossible. She's had to have been, this is her second time being pregnant because they lost the first child. So now she's pregnant again, and now while during the second pregnancy Simon died because she slashed his throat with a piece of a mirror.
Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
Okay. Just gotta kind of string together words and hope you get something. There we go.
Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it. By hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror. And he gave it to me.
See, she admits. Okay, good.
No. I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water.
That doesn't help us with anything. Okay. Shit. There's one new one.
No. I'm not sure what Strange would be, but he hasn't been acting odd. been busy at work, but nothing too stressful.
Okay. It's just... Ugh. We're like grasping at straws that are just in a wind tunnel. It's... Ugh. What about DNA? We got anything for that? No, that didn't exist in 1994, I'm afraid. I think I've already searched evidence. And she was just like, you got nothing. Hospital didn't work. Record, maybe.
Okay. I've given blood before. Do you need to take that for your records?
Aha.
Nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The blood. It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
I would think so, yes.
Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. And worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't looked in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So...
Mm-hmm.
She was sat behind him. She had my wig on. And she'd been there all day. And she had blood on her. And she was in shock.
Okay, that's an important clip. I don't know about that. But okay. What was I just thinking about? Shit. Corner. Cellar. There we go.
The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You could probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there.
Ah.
But the bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape. I think it was ours. It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
Ah. Yeah, that's an important one. Most interested by this.
The cellar. We knew we had an alibi.
Listen to that.
Came down to the cellar. We knew we.
See, we knew I had an alibi, which she fixed to we. I'm not sure which one's better. Wasn't Hannah the one with the alibi that she was in Glasgow? And now Eve is saying she had an alibi. But then is she admitting to saying that they're both the same? Interesting. That is a very important clip. Okay. Let's talk about alibis. Or did I already search that? I might have already searched that. No, I couldn't have. Watch. Watch was a special touch.
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. It was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
Okay. Let's see here. I mean, that was a huge clip from Eve that I stumbled upon. That was pretty damn big.
Okay, you got me. I'll confess. We were there. It was a dirty weekend. Simon was going to expense it, pretend it was a business trip. I used a made-up name. We stayed at the hotel, had room service, didn't leave the room, had a great view of the river, and you could hear the church bells. Like you said, it was very romantic.
What is that? Sure. I can't even do caps. He got to do caps, but no. Okay. What does that mean? Am I free to end it whenever I'm ready to tell her story?
It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets.
Yes.
It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford.
Okay. Here we go.
There was a conference, something to do with double glazing, in Oxford. Are you sure? What would he be doing in Oxford if there was no conference? I remember calling him. He said it was boring and he spent most of the time at the bar.
Okay, and then she admits that she was there. You're right, I agree, though. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Shit. I feel like we're still missing a lot of clips here. Like, all these we haven't seen yet. Why is this guy talking to me? Okay, let's think then. I mean, I guess we still just keep going, throwing out random words and seeing what catches. Did we look? I don't know if we looked up glazier. I think we did. Glaziers? Is that a word? Glazurine? That's not a word. That's not a word at all. Glazing? No. No, I already did that. What else did I do? Nothing for stress? That word has never come up? I feel like you're I feel like you're bullshitting me. How has stress never come up? I've heard her say stress. Well, that's weird. All these shit I've looked for. What is 271? Oh, that's how many clips are, right? Yeah. Just throw out random words, man. It's the best I can do. Really promise? There we go.
Thanks. Please find Simon. I love him so much.
Oh. Ah, this was before they found him.
No. I mean, everyone loves Simon. He was so nice to everyone. He loves me.
Okay, it's a week later, still hasn't found him.
Cute. You must love them very much. What ages are they?
What was she talking about here?
Yes. We'd fight.
Oh, this is where she's talking about Eve. Okay. Really? No, I guess that would have come up either way. No, I guess it wouldn't. Anyways. What else? What else? What else? Oh, I didn't look into her father. That's what I was curious about.
Yes. I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play out there and make up our own stories.
Aha, okay. Let me search that. There we go, now we're talking.
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, the dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there. I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights. The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there.
Okay. Interesting, interesting, interesting.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
Ha ha ha! Now we're getting somewhere.
What kind of hairs?
They found her hair. Shit. No, that doesn't even make any sense. Rapunzel. Although I doubt. Okay.
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again?
What was the previous one?
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn.
What was she talking about, though? Okay. Yeah, okay, I was just rereading. Alright, so not much for that. We didn't search doll. Dolls. Nope. Hair. They found hair. See, that's the kind of police documentation I wish I had on me. That's what I'm saying. And I searched hair, and that didn't give us much. It just only gave us this 5. So found hair. I don't know what else to search for regarding hair. Like, what combination would be in there? Let me just... Where's that readme that I wanted to... Inverted commas. Oh, okay. Alright. That still doesn't help me, though. Shit. Now I lost my train of thought. Alright, well, we're running out of time here as it is. So I want to go back to this and try and translate this Morse code.
What are you doing talking about Eve?
Okay, hold on. Okay. It's gotta be more. Come on. Nobody taps their fingers like that. So that was 3 short ones, right? 3 short ones, a long one, 2 short ones. I don't know what that would be. 3 short ones is S. So... that could be 3 or 2 small taps, actually. I don't know. This is harder than I thought it would be. That sounds like a long tap after the 3 short ones. See, it sounds like 3 short ones then. Well, that could just be... No, because SOS is 3 long ones. There's nothing that's just... Well, a long one and then 3 short ones is B. That couldn't be SB. That doesn't make any sense. So that was 4 short ones. I don't think that's... Oh, that's H. That was like 5. Yeah, it was 5 short ones. Which I think is 5. The number 5. Yeah, that's Morse. If anybody wants to translate that, it'd be much appreciated. Damn. Yeah, so we'll leave it off with that. we did find out some more stuff. We found out Eve's side of the story, who basically admitted to murdering Simon with Hannah because Hannah slashed his throat with a mirror he had just bought her, and they put his body in the cellar, and they both apparently had alibis. And now she decides to admit to the whole thing. I don't know why. Let me just search one last thing. Okay, that was the only mention of tape. Yeah, so chew on that for a little while. I don't know really where to go from here as far as the search terms, so any suggestions for that would be appreciated. But yeah, it's some interesting shit. Oh, we didn't search father. Let me just do that real quick. No, she never mentions father. She probably used dad. Okay, there's a few mentions of dad. I won't get into that. We'll save that for. I'll just leave it right here for next time. But my name is Mangg. Gaming and watching is her story, and I'll see you in the next part.